Hi people, and hello my Chilican Carnage crew. Is the man who produces Iron From My Eyes doing a 5-minute review on Johnny Cash's newest album, Songwriter. It seems fitting that not only in this day and age am I doing a review on the one and only Johnny Cash, but doubly so on this day that this album is released, one from his archives of course, is also the same day that Neil Young releases one record from his own archives. I guess there is a slight difference between the two, however. Anyway, I'm going to say a line that I never thought I would say on here next, and so let's take a listen to this new music by Johnny Cash.
We told God of our love and asked for his care.
What we have on this album is an interesting collection of songs. There are 11 tracks on offer here with a runtime of 30 minutes, so you can easily breeze through this album. But perhaps the more interesting angle for the die-hard fans is that these tunes were taken from a series of demos recorded back in 1993 during a time when for decades his career had been on the decline and marked with a flurry of subpar albums, and of course this is shortly before his resurgence with the American sessions with Rick Rubin. It is the ultimate time capsule and a perfect symbol for what fans would want to hear from the vault, so take note Neil Young. If you ever wanted confirmation just why Johnny Cash was so highly revered, then this album should arrive as testimony for a good character. It has some great tunes that play out talking about his love for his wife over the decades of their marriage being stronger now than when they took their vows back in the day on I Love You Tonight. Religion and Earth on the opener Hello Out There, and the attention fame brings you with Spotlight featuring Dan Auerbach. Probably butchered that name. Now if you were wondering how Dan, who would have been 14 when this was recorded, managed to get his message on the album, then that's a fair question. The answer is that these demos weren't completed at the time of his death. Instead they have been remastered and additional tracks have been made for these songs, depending on what state they were in. Drive On and Like a Soldier are part of this record. However, they were songs that made their way into the American records. But as for the remaining tunes, well, these seem to have been largely completed demos with various musicians being brought in to do backing tracks to complete the record. And I would largely agree that this is the case. This doesn't seem to be any BS surrounding that matter. Johnny Cash hardly left any songs unfinished if he got to working on them. Plus the engineer for this project was David Fergie Ferguson, who worked with Johnny Cash for 30 years, up until the last few albums that he did, and he wouldn't just lend himself to some endeavour of this sort unless he had some decent amount of material to work with. At the end of the day, he's not going to put his name out there and get his name smeared by a crappy re-recording of Johnny Cash's material. No, this record adds to another chapter in Johnny Cash's career, serving as the in-between labels era of songwriting that showed how he never lost his edge. He just needed to sharpen it again, and considering the story he tells about picking up a girl at the laundromat, well, I don't think it was that far-fetched to believe, but I hope it was at the point of his youth rather than his more recent times. Overall, I would give this album a score of 8 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite tracks being Spotlight, Well Alright, and I Love You Tonight. Now I see why people say Cash is king, and I don't want to live in a cashless society. What? That's not the same thing? Well, I believe this statement to still be true. Cash is king, and of course he does a great job on this unreleased album from the vault that is still worth a listen, cause this is where the real half-hour power lies. Yeah, play this album, seriously. It's a good, short record, and you're just sure to enjoy it. Go do it right now. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always people, you have a great day and stay spicy.